NASA makes contact with Voyager 2 again. What is the current state of affairs? For the very first time since March 2020, mission controllers delivered a string of directives to NASA's Voyager 2 spaceship on October 29, 2020. Whereas the 17-meter-wide radio transmitter used to communicate with the spacecraft has indeed been down for repairs as well as upgrades, the spacecraft has just been flying alone. Voyager 2 confirmed that it had obtained the call and carried out the directions without difficulty. And in this video, we will be talking about just that. Let's begin. The communication to Voyager 2 was a trial of the new hardware that was installed lately on Deep Space Station 43, which is the world's sole dish capable of sending instructions and signals to Voyager 2. It's also part of NASA's Deep Space Network, DSN, a worldwide network of radio antennas used to connect with spacecraft orbiting further than the Moon. It is based in Canberra, Australia. Mission controllers have indeed been able to acquire health updates, as well as science data from Voyager 2 ever since the antenna went offline. However, still, they were unable to send instructions to the far-flung spacecraft, which has gone billions of kilometers from Earth ever since its 1977 deployment. The successful communication with Voyager 2 is just one sign that perhaps the dish will be operational again in February 2021. What sets this effort special is that we're working on the antenna at any level, right from the pedestal at ground level to the feed that comes in the dish's core that protrudes above the rim, explained Brad Arnold. He is the DSN project manager at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab situated in Southern California. This experimental contact with Voyager 2 confirms that the effort we're undertaking is on track. The Deep Space Network is made up of radio antenna sites in Canberra, California, Goldstone, as well as Madrid, Spain, that are evenly spread around the world. The three facilities are positioned in such a way that practically any spaceship with just a line of sight to Earth may interact with any one of them at any given moment. The only exception would be Voyager 2. In 1989, the probe sailed past Neptune's North Pole to pursue a close flyby of Triton, which is the planet's moon. It was diverted southward by that track in relation to the path of the planets, and it has actually been moving in that very way ever since. The spacecraft has now gone more than 11.6 billion miles from Earth, and it was so far southward that it can't see radio antennae in the Northern Hemisphere. DSS-43 seems to be the only satellite in the Southern Hemisphere with a strong transmitter capable of transmitting instructions to faraway spaceships on the correct frequency. The faster sibling of Voyager 2, Voyager 1, travel a separate path beyond Saturn and therefore can interact with the two DSN sites in the Northern Hemisphere via antennae. The antennas should transmit instructions to both Voyagers that are there in the S-band radio frequency spectrum, and they must receive information from the spaceship in the X-band radio frequency spectrum. The three 34-meter-wide radio antennas at the Canberra site can be utilized collectively to intercept the signals that Voyager 2 transmits to Earth, even though project managers have not been able to order it since DSS-43 went offline. The probe is transmitting data from the space beyond our Sun's heliosphere, the shielding bubble of particles and magnetic fields formed either by the Sun that envelopes the planets and the Kuiper Belt, which is a collection of small, frozen things beyond Neptune's orbit. DSS-43 was launched in 1972, 5 years before Voyager 2 and also Voyager 1, and it was barely 64 meters, 210 feet, broad at the time. It was extended to 70 meters, 230 feet, in 1987, and several modifications and fixes have been made since then. However, the engineers in charge of the current project claim that this is among the most important upgrades the dish has ever had and that it has been offline for more than 30 years. The DSS-43 antenna is a highly specialized scheme. There were only 2 other comparable antennas in the world, stated Philip Baldwin, the operations manager for NASA's Space Communications and Navigation (SCAN) program. Having the antenna down for a year would not be an ideal scenario for Voyager or several other NASA missions. The organization made a conscious decision to modify the antenna in order to ensure that it can be used for present and future operations. In addition, with a nearly 50-year-old antenna, it's preferable to be proactive rather than reactive when it comes to necessary maintenance. Other projects, such as the Mars Perseverance rover, that had settled on the red planet on February 18, 2021, may even benefit from the modifications. The system will also be crucial in the Moon to Mars exploratory project, providing communication and navigation assistance for both the preliminary Moon and Mars missions, and even the crewed Artemis missions. So, this is all about NASA and its contact with Voyager 2. Comment and let me know what you think about it.